Hi there, friends. Welcome to this all standing, no hands flow. This is a great one if you are having any wrist pain and don't want to be weight bearing on your hands. Also, how this one came about for me is if you're traveling and you want to move your body, you're in a hotel room, but you don't necessarily want to be all over the floor or like at a gym in a hotel. I was recently traveling and was wanting to move my body, but just didn't want to be all over the floor with my hands. And I was also having a little bit of wrist tenderness. So that's where this one came from. The only props you might need for this class are a couple of blocks. We will do triangle pose. So if you need a block to help your arm reach towards the floor, grab those now. And let's meet at the top of your mat. Let's just go ahead and take a moment, come into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. So ground down through your feet, lift all of your toes up off of the mat, and then slowly lower them down, if you can, one toe at a time, starting with the pinky all the way to the big toe. And then really ground down through all corners of your feet. What I mean by corners of your feet would be like the pinky toe mound, the big toe mound, and then either just the heel or the two sides of the heel if you feel like you might have four corners. Some people go with 3 corners, some go with 4 on the feet. So press down, really ground your feet into the earth. Get a neutral pelvis, long spine. Imagine energy going all the way up through the crown of the head. Reach the arms down by your sides. And then let's take an inhale. Just bring your right hand to your heart, left hand to your belly. And either close down your eyes or just find a spot in front of you to gently gaze at. Let's just take a few deep breaths here. Feeling the rise and the fall of your chest and your belly there with your hands. This class will be all standing, which is quite a bit of balancing. If you have your eyes closed right now, I can guarantee that you're probably feeling some movement in your body. Even just standing is a balancing pose for us. Standing on your 2 feet. As we move through class today, we will do quite a few balancing poses while we're standing. So maybe take a moment here to set an intention for your class. It could be an I am statement. Could choose something like I am balanced, I am centered, I'm focused, I'm peaceful. See if any of those resonate with you today. Let's just take one more inhale in. If your eyes are closed, gently open. You can release your hands down by your sides. The first thing that we'll do are just some gentle arm swings from side to side. So bring your right arm in front, your left arm behind, and then just start to swing your torso from side to side. And allow your hands to kind of bump into your sides, the opposite side. Mine kind of hit right at my hips. Just swing side to side and just let the arms move with the momentum. This arm swinging can be a great way to kind of calm down if we're anxious. Help us feel present and centered. So just do a few more of these. Can kind of feel good to just let your arms flow with the momentum. And then let's gently take that back to neutral. You don't need to stop all of a sudden, just kind of lessen the twist in your torso until your arms stop their swing. Let's inhale and reach the hands up overhead, allow the palms to touch, and then we'll take some side bends here. So you can either leave your hands with palms touching to reach over towards the right, or allow that right hand to just slide down the outside of the right leg, whatever feels good for you here at the beginning of class. Just a gentle side bend. You can gaze up at the ceiling, and then inhale both arms back up overhead. Exhale to the left, both palms touching, or allow that left arm to just slide down the outside of the left leg. Do a few more of these on your own breath, inhaling up and then exhaling into the bend. Let's do one more to the left. Inhale the arms back up. Let's exhale them down through heart center. Just allow your hands to hang kind of by your sides. can take your feet hips distance apart if they aren't already, and let's just do some shoulder rolls. So on your inhale, reach the shoulders up forward towards the ears, and then allow them to go back down on the back. Imagine the shoulder blades going back down on the back of the rib cage. Do 2 more of these, reaching the shoulders forward and then back. You might hear some crackling. As long as it's not associated with pain, that's all good. And then let's change direction. So bring the shoulders back, around, and up. Let's do 2 more in that direction. Last one here. Release the shoulders back down. Let's reach our arms behind us. Let's work to clasp the hands. So either interlace the fingers and clasp the hands. Alternative, you can just leave the hands open, palms reaching towards one another. If you are dealing with wrist issues, that clasp might not feel fantastic. So you could leave hands open, clasp hands. You could even reach just for opposite elbows. And take a moment. Inhale, open the chest. So allow the sternum to reach up and forward. Fingertips are reaching down towards your heels, kind of like a standing back bend here. Open through the chest. Upper arm bones are externally rotating. And then on your exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your hips, and just start to fold forward. You can keep the hand clasp. You could keep the palms facing one another. You could keep the elbow grasp, or feel free whenever you are ready to just release the hands. Down towards the mat. And then let's grab opposite elbows and we'll come into a ragdoll. So this being our first forward fold here in class, keep your knees bent. Sit bones are reaching up and back. Really try to draw that belly towards the thighs. If you'd like to kind of rock side to side in your ragdoll, you can. Ragdoll always feels so good. If I had to list like my top 10 yoga poses, ragdoll would be on there. It really releases the whole posterior chain of the body. On your next exhale, release your hands and let's just gently roll all the way back up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Stacking your spine, your head will be last. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. Shift your weight into your left foot. See if you can reach the right knee in front of you into a stork. So knee is bent at 90 degrees. And then maybe try to twist towards the right. So left arm in front, right hand behind. Take an inhale and an exhale here. Take an inhale. On your next exhale, left hand comes down by the left side. Right arm comes up overhead. Reach that right leg behind you. We'll land in a crescent lunge, twisting to the left. So right arm in front, left arm behind. Energy out through that back heel. Go ahead and bring this left hand to the left hip, and let's reach this right arm up overhead and back to the left a little bit into an exalted crescent lunge. You should feel a nice stretch all the way up the front of the right leg into the right hip, the psoas. On your next exhale, come back into the twisted crescent. So right arm forward, left hand behind. Bring your hands into prayer and see if you can hook your right elbow on the outside of your left thigh. Press the palms into one another. Maybe gaze up at that left elbow. Take your gaze down towards the left big toe. See if you can step that right foot to meet the left into a twisted chair. Try to keep your knees level without one knee pushing more forward than the other. Take a breath in your twisted chair. Let's inhale, come back to chair, hands into heart center. And then let's forward fold over the legs. You can keep your knees bent if that feels good. You can always have your hands on blocks. And then let's do that. Roll up 1 vertebrae at a time again. Just that slow restacking of the spine. We will take that on the other side. So this time, shift your weight into your right foot. Left foot comes up into stork. Try to take a twist here. Right hand forward, left hand back. You might feel the wobbles, I sure do. And then let's bring the right hand down towards the right leg. Reach the left arm up overhead as we shoot that left leg back. Land in your twisted crescent. So right foot forward, left foot back, left hand forward, right hand back. Take a moment in your twist. Bring the right hand to the right hip. Bring this left arm up over your head, back towards the right just a little bit. Nice stretch up the front of the left body. On your next exhale, come back into that twisted crescent. You can bring your hands to prayer and then hook that left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. Press the palms into one another. Check in with that back leg. Is it still active? Energy out through that back heel. Gaze down at the right big toe. See if you can step that left foot forward to meet the right. You can take little baby steps if you need to. Twisted chair. Draw in the low belly. Engage the obliques. Inhale, come back to chair at center. Exhale, fold forward. Release the crown of your head. And then that same slow roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Once you are back in your mountain pose, get a long spine. Ground down through those feet again. Shift the weight into your right foot. Lift that left leg back up into stork. We're going to come into Garandasana Eagle pose. So let's cross this left leg over the right. You can always stand next to a wall if you need a little balance help. You can either cross the knee over and then let the foot dangle. You could place a block underneath that foot, or you could work to have the double wrap, which I'm not going to do on this side. Take your left arm, hook it underneath the right, eagle arms. Work to have palms touch. If that's not working for you, grab opposite shoulders. In your eagle, let's hug everything into the midline. Bring elbows towards the knees. Balance, balance, balance. On your inhale, unlace the arms, fly that leg back up into your stork, and then externally rotate this left leg, step back into warrior two. So right foot is facing forward, right heel is lined up with the left inner arch, shoulders stack over your hips, arms reach in opposite directions. Take a moment to get steady in your warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. Let's just take a little flow here. So on your inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up overhead. You can gaze up at the hands, and then exhale back down into warrior two. Do a few more of these on your own. Inhale and exhale. Up and down. Last one here. Next time you come up overhead, keep the arms up. Shift this right foot to face the side of the mat. So we're like in a star position, facing the side of the mat. You can exhale your hands down to your hips. We'll just do a few easy hip rocks here. So you'll want to bend the right knee, and you can kind of shoot the hips back. Keep your hands on your hips, and just kind of rock side to side. Opening up here through our adductor muscles, those inner thighs. We'll do a couple more here. Next time you come back to center, stand back up, shift the left toes to face the back of your mat. Can bend this left knee. We'll come into side angle. So left forearm can be on the left thigh, right arm reaches up overhead, long line all the way down the right side of the body. So press that outer edge of the right foot down into the mat. Can gaze up under the right bicep. We'll inhale, exhale, bring your elbow down, almost like you're doing like a lat pull. So elbow down, bend that right arm. You can keep your palm open, and then reach it back overhead. Inhale, exhale, elbow down. Let's do 3 more little lat pulls here in our side angle. You can feel the muscles on your back working. Next time we land in side angle, let's inhale. We'll come back up into warrior two for just a beat. Straighten this front leg, the left leg. Heel toe this back foot in if you need a little bit more or less space between your legs in triangle pose. And then let's come into triangle. Grab your block if you need it. Reach that left arm long, get a long side body. Exhale that hand down to the mat, your shin, a block, whatever's working for you. Try to stack your shoulders, long side bodies. And let's see if we can inhale. Use those obliques all the way back up. Let's step to the back of our mat and meet in standing. Take a breath in and out through the nose. And then inhale the arms up overhead. Let's come back into stork. So shift the weight into your left foot. Right foot comes up, stork. We'll come into eagle on this side. So if you know you need the wall, go ahead and step to the wall. Cross that right leg over the left, block under the foot. Foot could stay on the mat. You could work for that double wrap. Right arm comes underneath the left eagle arms or grab opposite shoulders. Exhale, curl everything in, elbows towards knees. Maintain that balance. Draw your belly in. On your inhale, come back up, release, fly your eagle. Right leg comes back up into stork. Your left leg might be shaking. That's all good. Open that right leg out to the side. Virabhadrasana 2 on the left. We're facing the back of our mat. So left foot forward. Heel is lining up with the right arch. Energetically reach your arms in opposite directions. Now take this little flow here. Inhaling and straightening the left leg, gaze up overhead. Exhaling back into Virabhadrasana 2. Do this a few more times on your own breath. And then next time we come back up to center, keep the arms up overhead. Shift those left toes to face the side of the mat. You can bring your hands to your hips. Do those little gentle hip rocks. This one feels good to open up through the inner thighs, the hamstrings, the hips. Let's do one more to the left. Come back to center. Shift those right toes forward. Bend that right knee. We'll come into side angle. So right forearm to the right thigh. Reach this left arm up overhead. Open the chest up towards the ceiling. Long line all the way down the left side of the body. Keep your right hip scooping underneath. Take an inhale. Exhale. Let's start those lat pulls. So left elbow comes down. Let's do 3 more. Feel that lat muscle on your back contracting. I lost count. Let's do 2 more. Last one here. Back into your side angle. Let's inhale back up into warrior 2 for a beat. Straighten that front leg. If you need to heel toe the back foot forward, you can. Reach this right arm long. Exhale down into triangle. Imagine both sides of your body. Long, long lines. Those left ribs. Push those down. One more breath. See if you can inhale. Use those obliques. Rise all the way back up. And then let's step to the front, the OG front of our mat, into standing. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend your knees, lower your seat into Utkatasana, chair pose. You can bring your hands into prayer at heart center. Shift the weight into your right foot. Hover that left foot. And let's do some pulses back through warrior 3. If you'd like to have your blocks down underneath your hands for a little bit of extra support, grab those into like a supported warrior 3. Or add a little balance challenge. Keep your hands at heart center. So let's pulse the leg back maybe 2 more times. This last one, hold it back behind you. Plant that left foot. We'll come into pyramid pose. So take your feet into parallel, like railroad tracks. Hips are square to the front. Inhale the arms up overhead. We'll just do a few reaches forward and back up here. So take an inhale. On your exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Only go as far as you can. Pull yourself back up on the inhale. So let's do 2 more. Keep the hips square. Exhaling forward. Inhaling back up. Exhaling forward. Inhaling back up. If you'd like to take a full fold here, you can exhale forward and then release the hands. Blocks the mat. Take a couple breaths. Check in with those hips. Are they still square? Right hip is reaching back, left hip reaching forward. I always need to give myself that adjustment as well. Let's inhale. Rise back up into your pyramid. Let's shift our weight forward into this right leg. We'll come back into stork. So the left leg is reaching up into stork. We'll cross this left ankle over the right thigh. We're coming into figure 4 chair. So if you need the wall again here, grab on for a little extra balance help. So this left ankle is crossing above the right knee. Left knee is going out to the side. See if you can lower your hips a little bit into chair. If this causes any pain on the knee or the ankle, just come into regular Utkatasana. Have both feet on the floor. Couple of breaths. This is such a tricky balance. And then let's release this left foot down to the mat. Exhale, fold forward one more time into Uttanasana, forward fold. Notice any difference now from the beginning of class, perhaps in maybe the ability to straighten your legs or how close your chest is to your thighs as we've kind of warmed up these muscles. Let's slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time back to stand. Inhale the arms back up overhead. Exhale, we're coming into chair, Utkatasana, one more time. Hips reach back, low belly draws in, sternum reaches forward. Bring the hands to heart center. Shift the weight into your left foot. Hover the right foot. Grab the blocks if you need them. Let's do those warrior 3 pulses. So the right leg is reaching long behind us. We're trying to get a long line all the way from the foot to the crown of the head in these pulses. We're trying to balance and not fall. Hold on to the wall if you need to. Use the blocks. Last one here. Right foot lands pyramid pose. So take a moment to get your feet parallel, hips square. Inhale the arms up overhead, and then we'll do those reaches forward and up. So exhale, fold forward as far as you can to come back up on the inhale. Let's do 2 more. Exhale forward. Engage the back muscles, the glute muscles to help you rise back up. Last one here, folding forward. And back up. If you'd like to take a full forward fold, take one here. Hands all the way down to blocks, the mat. Release the crown of your head. Check in with your hips. Make sure that they are still working towards square. Next inhale, see if you can rise all the way back up. Shift the weight into that left foot. Launch off, right foot in to stork. Cross this right ankle over the left thigh. Come into figure 4 chair. Hands can be in prayer at heart center. Lower the hips. You should feel a nice stretch through the outside of that right hip. This is kind of like the standing version of a reclined pigeon where we draw those thighs into the chest on our back. On your next exhale, release this right foot down into chair and then fold forward. Draw the belly in. Engage through these quadriceps to help compress. Draw that belly in towards the thighs. And then roll up carefully, one vertebrae at a time to stand. Let's inhale the arms up overhead, and we'll just come back to those side bends that we did at the beginning of class. So palms touching or right hand sliding down the right leg. You might be able to come a little bit deeper to the side. Now that we are warmed up, just do a few side to side. These feel so nice on the side body. And then let's inhale the arms back up overhead. Let's take a standing back bend. So keep your palms reaching towards one another and then open the chest. You can gaze up. You can even really exaggerate. Push that pelvis forward. Keep the belly drawing in. Take a little back bend. Inhale back up to center, and then let's exhale the elbows down into like cactus arms. I'll turn to show this one. So we'll have like cactus arms, and then we're going to take our arms through, our upper arm bones through internal and external rotation. I kind of like to call this scarecrow arms. It just reminds me of scarecrows. So we'll take this right palm, keep the elbow where it is, and just rotate the right palm down and then back up. And then let's do the left. We'll just kind of rotate side to side, one arm and then the other. You might notice, I for sure do, that one side I'm able to get my palm down a little bit farther. My left shoulder tends to be pretty tight, so I can definitely notice a difference. Let's do one more each side. And then we'll keep our arms in these cactus goalpost arms. Take an inhale, open the chest. You can draw the shoulder blades towards one another, almost like a little back bend here again. And then exhale like a cat, standing cat-cow. Draw the elbows towards one another. Draw the belly in. You can tuck the pelvis, chin to chest. Inhale and open. Exhale and close. Do a few more of these just on your own breath. Inhaling and opening. Exhaling and closing. do one more. To release the hands, we'll do a couple just half sun salves, a little less fluid movement. So inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward into a forward fold. Take a moment to allow the crown of your head to release. Inhale into your half lift. You can have your hands on your blocks, shins, the mat, long spine. Exhale, fold forward again, and then press down through the feet. Arms out to the sides, rise all the way back up overhead. Exhale down through heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale the arms up over the head. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward one more time. Press down through those feet, rise up, arms out to the side. And then let's dive right back into the other one. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Fold forward again. Inhale, press down into those feet. Rise all the way back up. Exhale those hands down through heart center. Let's end class the same way that we started. Bring your right hand to your heart, left hand to your belly, ground down through all corners of your feet. You can close your eyes or just find an easy drishti, an easy focus point in front of you. Take a few breaths. Come back to that intention from the beginning of class. And just notice whatever word you chose. I am balanced, I'm focused, I'm centered, I'm peaceful. Notice kind of like the state, the quality of how you feel. Is it more in line with that I am statement? I for sure feel more balanced. I feel more centered. One more breath here. Let's bring our hands together into Anjali Mudra. Take an inhale. And we can exhale. Bow in. Namaste. Thank you all so much for practicing with me.